you started just to think about, what are some of the things that I can do or we can do to help keep our relationship with God on track? And maybe there's something personal that you've thought, actually, I might need to have a look at that in my life. It's important for us to keep coming back to realise what it is and where we're at with our life. Now, I need 5 little people to come and help me very quickly. So if you are under 10, I would love for 5 people under 10 to come and quickly help me up the front. So we've got 1 who is coming, 2 who is coming, 3 who has come, 4 who has come. Do you want to come? No, 5. Excellent. Okay, so I've got 4. It's okay. I'm not that jet lagged. I can count to 1, 2, 3, 4. We can find a 5th person, hopefully, by the end. Okay, so Matty's been volunteered. I think he's hiding. It's all right. It's all right. Oh, here we go. He's back again. Okay, so what I want you to do is in this box, okay, I want you to try and find, there's 5 bits of paper that have got numbers on. So can you discover 5 bits of paper? We've got 6 people, that's okay. There's still only 5 bits of paper. I feel like we're just taking the balls out and not really finding the paper. We don't need to take the balls out, we can just find the bits of paper. Oh, great, right, we've got 1. Has anyone else found one yet? We've now got a big trip hazard up the front, so just be careful. Right, number 2, anyone found number 2? That is, that is not the kind of paper that we are, that's a heart, but thanks. That's a letter D. Oh, we've got a number 3. So if you stand up, so we've got 1, we've got 3. You've got number 5, excellent. So we're looking for 2 and 4. You found a car, excellent. Good, you've got 4, and you've got number 2. Woohoo! Okay, that's all the bits of paper. Excellent. Good. Okay. Lovely. That was fun, wasn't it? Right, so who has got number 1? Can you unfold all of them, please? Because when Josiah started reading about God and from his word, they discovered some things that really helped them. And so we are going to use some of those things to help us too. So if you've got number 1, can you come over here, Ayla, for me? Excellent. If you hold it really high. Excellent. So we've got a picture of somebody reading a scroll. And this reminds us that we actually need to read the Bible. Yeah. So we have Bibles that we can read. We've got Bibles that we can listen to. You can read it with friends, read it by yourself. But an important thing that the people of Judah learn is that it's really important to read the Bible and keep reading the Bible. Super. Who has got number 2? Excellent. Because the Bible is alive. It says that the Bible is alive and active. Excellent. If you hold it really high for me, Matty, do you know what that is a picture of? Okay, we've got a picture of a compass, yes. Because not only do we need to read the Bible, but we also have to follow it. I know this is really basic stuff, but actually if people can forget it in the past, then we can forget it too. So we need to read the Bible, but we also need to follow it. The people before Josiah, they didn't follow it and they ended up in a right mess. So let's not just read it, let's follow it too. And if you're not sure what that looks like, from next week onwards, on a Sunday morning, we're going to be doing the Bible course, which is going to tell us bits about the Bible, but also help us in following it. Who's got number 3? Got number 3? Okay, if you come and stand next to me. Excellent. If you hold it really high. We have got someone who is digging. And this reminds us that from time to time, it's worth looking at our lives, because there can be times where the Bible and our relationship with God can get covered up, can get distracted. Other things like busyness can push God out, whereas actually we might need to chip away at some of those things and clear them, just like they did with the temple and some of the idols. And that links on to number 4. I'm over here. hold up number 4 so people can see it's a picture of a
Wheelbarrow.
wheelbarrow. So this reminds us that when we have a look at some of the things that are tempting us, that are distracting us, that are not helpful when it comes to our relationship with God, there's no point just identifying it and carrying it on. Actually, we need to take that stuff away and remove it from our lives. If you remember Josiah, they collected all the idols and then he burnt it. He completely destroyed it so it wouldn't be able to come back and lead them astray again. And then the last one, Benji. Hi. What have we got? Might want to turn it an upside down diamond. Can we turn it the other way around so we can get a lovely, good, super. So we have got a diamond because discoverers normally go and search for treasure. But actually, when they discovered the Bible and when we discover God, we discover the greatest gift ever. You've heard some of the men earlier describe those people discovering God for the first time. And actually, our relationship with God is the most precious thing that we should have in our lives. Now, have you ever worn a tiara, Benji?
What's a tiara?
A crown?
No.
No. So in tiaras and perhaps engagement rings, the biggest jewel is often at the centre. And this is a reminder that our relationship with God should be at the centre of our lives. But so often, things come and cover it up and fill it, and then we can soon lose the preciousness of our relationship. So, thank you so much for your help and uncovering these pieces. Can you put them back in the box, and then you can go and grab a seat back at your tables. And I'm going to invite Millie and Annabelle at this point, who are going to lead us in prayer. But the story of Josiah is a really encouraging one. It's one that is challenging, but it's also encouraging that actually there's always a way to come back to God. And where does it feature? Jesus? Well, Jesus is the person that ultimately tells us what it looks like to follow God, the person who should be the king of our lives, at the center of our lives. And actually, when we follow him and when we follow God, as we saw with Josiah, actually the whole nation can be turned around. And girls, you're going to lead us and explain what we're going to do to finish as we pray. Who am I handing over to first?
As we heard this morning, Josiah was a king who loved God with all his heart, mind and soul and strength. Josiah wanted to follow God with all he had. He was all in for God, and he wanted that for all the people of Israel too. Josiah didn't want anything to get in the way of people's relationships with God, and so he put God back in the center of people's worship and destroyed the other things that people had chosen to worship.